library line. February, happy Valentine's Day! It's all about loving books here at the Conneaut Public Library, and we have several things coming up that'll help you love to read, love books, and love your library. One of the things that we like to do in February is offer a fine-free February. So the whole month of February, if you have fines and fees on your library card, or you haven't been here in a while because maybe you've lost a book, can't find it, something happened, and you've been like, oh no, I don't want to go in there, I don't know what's going on. Come into the Conneaut Public Library and we will check it all out on your account, see where you stand, and we'll deal with you because we have worked out something with Renee Roach at the Conneaut Food Pantry, and for every item you bring in to us, we will take off $1 in fines that's on your card. So that's pretty cool, right? I mean, your item doesn't have to cost you $1, but for whatever it is, whatever that amount is, we will work with you to help clear your account, be in good standing here at the library, and also give to the Conneaut Food Pantry. Because you know what? Around the holidays, you know, Thanksgiving and Christmas, you know, there's a big promotion and a big push, and everybody's minds are thinking about the food pantry. Well, the food pantry is a year-round thing, and it's very, very, very important that it's supported year-round. So we are collaborating with them. Please, this is the time of year to maybe think about your account, look into all your children's accounts, see if there's anything lingering on your card, and come in and let us work with you to clear that out. And something else that we will have going on is a Love to Read book sale. We are going to have that in February 11th through the 14th. And as a matter of fact, we are going to have a wonderful spotlight on the community with Jean Fields. She is a friend of the Conneaut Public Library and also a board member. And you know what? Talk about somebody that loves the library. We thought that we would. She's always buzzing around here and very busy, and she's always working on that book sale, even though, you know, there may not be one going on at the time. So we're going to go and catch her here in a little bit and make her sit down and talk with us and find out why she loves the library so much and she likes to spend so much time here. Something else that we love at the Conneaut Public Library is, you know us, we love to plan events and do things and find different ways to bring everybody together for the common goal of reading and sharing your love of books. Something coming up in April, and we are going to be pushing this. You're going to hear so much about it, but I'm so excited I want to tell you about it now. All of the Ashtabula County libraries will be bringing in Les Roberts. How cool is that? Yeah. We have got Les Roberts visiting Ashtabula County to do a book signing, book talk, and it is going to be held at the Red Eagle Distillery in Harpersfield. It's going to be April 21st, and it's going to be such a neat event because you'll get to meet Les Roberts. He's going to share with us all of the interesting stories, and I met with him a couple of weeks ago, and talk about a charismatic, interesting gentleman. He had so many neat stories. Everything that he tells, he kind of reminds me of me, you know. There's just not one story, you know. It's like, this is why, and you know, let me tell you this, you know, it just keeps going on and on and on. And of course, I love that. He knows so many people and he's done so many amazing things, and he's going to share all of that with us. And also explain to us here in Ashtabula County why he loves this area so much. He's been all over, born in Chicago, lived in Hollywood for many, many years, producing and writing many hit shows, but decided to come back to Northeast Ohio, create a whole series of books about our area, and mentions us all the time. So this one's Whiskey Island, and you know what? We probably need to go and go to a distillery, right? So that's what we're going to do. It's going to be so much fun, and I really hope that you are coming into the library, making sure that you get that information and you know all about it when the time comes, because we want a nice, large crowd there for Les Roberts. Okay, so this show today is a little different. Remember our last show we were talking about change? We're going to change things up a little bit, so I don't want to give too much away. I just want to ask that you stay tuned because you know us, you know it's going to be a good show. There's a couple of things that I can tell you for sure that will be on the show. It is, of course, our spotlight on the community with Jean Fields. And up first, as always, is Here's How with Cindy Prather.
I'm Cindy, and this is Here's How. It's all about Valentine's Day. So I have some simple ideas for you to try for your Valentine. The first thing I wanted to start out with is something salty yet sweet. And to make these, all I did was buy the little square, or you could get the little traditional shaped pretzels. I got Dove heart-shaped chocolates, and you place them on top of your pretzel square, and you put them in the microwave just enough to melt them a little bit, and then you top them with a small M&M. And I found this year that M&M's has something called Be Mine M&M's, and they're cherry flavored. They're really good. So that's a good hint. The next thing I have that I want to point out is at Christmas time, everybody always made the traditional peanut blossoms with the peanut butter cookie and a Hershey Kiss in the middle. Well, this is a maraschino cherry version, and it's basically a sugar dough, and it has maraschino cherry juice in it and the chopped cherries. And like the traditional peanut blossom ones, you put the Hershey Kiss in the middle. The last thing I have, which I thought was really funny, you can make your Valentine a hot dog omelet in the shape of a heart. Now, when I saw this, I thought my husband's getting one of these for Valentine's Day morning. Yeah. So, in order, and all of these ideas too, by the way, all I did was Google Valentine's Day recipes, and they all came up. There's hundreds and hundreds of recipes. But let me show you real quick how to make the hot dog thing, because this was really funny. All you do is you take your hot dog and you split it right down the middle with your knife, and it gets turned inside out like this. There you go. And then when you make your omelet, you just lay it in your omelet, and it cooks up just like that. So, if you don't have access to the internet, of course we always have books. Here's a nice one. It's called Basic Baking Chocolate by Linda Collister. And this has not hundreds, it has about 25 ideas for baking with chocolate. This one too is a good one. It's called The Chocolate Cookbook by Elizabeth Cohen. And this one has really good rules on how to melt chocolate to make it so it doesn't turn, it gets that white dusty look on them. So this gives you good hints on how to melt your chocolate properly. All right. And last but not least, if you've ever not checked out a DK book, DK Publishing, they have amazing illustrations. All of their illustrations are really good. So it's an easy to follow book. And this one's by Patricia Lusada. So I hope you all have a great Valentine's Day. See you next time.
And now it's time for Spotlight on the Community. We have here Miss Jean Fields. Hello, Jean.
Hello.
How are you today?
Oh, I'm on my feet and moving.
It's a good day then. Jean, why don't you tell us why you love the library so much?
Well, when I was a child, of course, I lived on a farm, which was 7 miles out of town. And in my day, as Pat Williams keeps saying, people did not take their children places to do things. You were pretty much on your own, and I was an only child. And like my one son said, when you see one cow, you've seen them all. And so I loved to read, and we did not go to the library. And when I went to school, our library was an old piano with everything taken out of it, and whoever donated what was all the books we had.
Really?
Really.
Oh my gosh.
It was pretty
That's
bad.
interesting.
Yes. And of course there was no television, and I was 7 years old before we got electricity, so up to that point we didn't even have a radio.
Really?
In the good old days, yeah. So when I went to high school, it was in the town, and they had a big library, and I thought I had died and gone to heaven. I started at one end and read my way, right through, and I went by titles. And so I looked in the adult book section, and they had this book called Good Night, Sweet Prince, which I did not know was a biography of John Barrymore. And when my aunt found out I had that book, she said, "Does your mother know you're reading it?"
Nothing's changed then, no.
No. And of course today it would be pretty tame, but in those days that was kind of, we couldn't afford to do anything even when our kids were little, so I read, I read and read and read, and I really loved to read.
Wow.
I don't even remember learning to read. I just, got up one morning and read.
Read her way from one end of the library to the other.
Dick and Jane was pretty. I had that memorized before.
Well, it seems like, and I know this from you, that you share your love of reading because, when you do read something interesting, you want to find other people that, you can talk to about it or suggest it to. So you've surrounded yourself with readers. Yeah, all our kids could read. Even our Down syndrome could read. And a lot of the evenings, everybody was sitting there reading. And so that was... I felt very pleased. My grandchildren are reading, and some of the great-grandchildren are reading, so it does get passed down. Oh, I love that. I love that. And you're always here at the library. You're always helping us out. And the book sale, I know that's something that's near and dear to your heart. Yeah. About 35 years or so ago, I helped out at a book sale, and at that time they just had books in cartons sitting around. They weren't sorted or anything. Oh, that sounds like a nightmare with you. So I said to the head librarian, I think you'd sell more books if they were sorted. And she said, that's a great idea. Why don't you do that? So I did that, and it was pretty horrendous to start with because nothing was sorted. And I've tried to keep it up all these years, and many times it's gotten ahead of me, and it's ahead of me this year too. So, oh my goodness! And I know you are in here all the time, and you'd like to kind of keep a handle on it, so you're not coming in and sorting everything at one time. Some of it's sorted. So we're having a book sale the 11th through the 14th. What makes this one special? Oh my! They're all special, really, because we do it a little differently each time, and we try to, and we get a good response. We're having some better books this time. Last time we had a clean out the cupboard and everything was 10 cents. And Kathy was kind of upset because we didn't make much money. She said, we only made $161. And I said, Kathy, that's 1,601 books. That's true. That's a true story. Oh, she said. So this time we'd like to make some money. So the books are going to be a little more expensive, but they're going to be better quality, too. Oh, that's great. And, we're also doing a promotion here at the library. Buy it, read it, donate it, because so many people do this already. Yeah. Don't donate it back. Give it somewhere else. But people can't wait to get their hands on that new book, so they'll go out and they'll buy it and they'll read it, and then they do bring it in and donate it to us. And we love it when people do that because, sometimes when you donate to the library, we'll catalog it. We look through everything. We look through absolutely everything. A lot of times we'll catalog it, add it to our collection. If not, it goes into our book sale. So it always helps the library. It always does. And we would appreciate it if you didn't put your name in those books in ink. If you would put them in pencil or something so that we can erase it and it looks like new, we can add it to the collection easier. Yeah. And if you can't trust your friends to give your books back, maybe you should get some new friends. That's a very good word of advice. This has turned out far more interesting than, it's just, and that's the one thing I know about you is that your compassion for the library is there, and it's just, it's always present when you come in, and, it's something that you're always trying to share with other people. It's really a give back thing. If you're taking, the library is such a good thing in this town, and every time I walk in this building, I can't believe we have a library like this. But if you're taking, I wouldn't say taking advantage, but if the library is useful to you, then you should be useful to the library too, so give it back. Wow. And that is a wonderful thing to say. That she's our biggest cheerleader here at the Conneaut Public Library. Jean, I really thank you for coming in and talking with us today. Again, that book sale that we're having is going to be February 11th through the 14th, and that's just during regular library hours, correct? Okay, so you'll be able to peruse a nice large selection of books and hopefully find some bargains. There's always something for everyone, though. Isn't that true? There's always bargains. Sometimes people even give us more money than the book is because they say, well, it's worth more than this. And they all are worth more than that. But and we always accept donations, so you feel free to do that. Absolutely. Well, thank you, Jean. You're very welcome.
Hello, Dylan here. and today I'm going to review 2 movies for you that kind of go with the theme of love that we're going for Valentine's Day. The first film I'm going to review is Moonrise Kingdom. And Moonrise Kingdom takes place in this small New England town where these 2 young lovers decide they're going to flee their New England town and run away from their families. And the thing with this film, it's so unique that I just fell in love with it, seriously. It's just this film where it's so outlandish and not your normal romantic film where boy meets girl and they fall in love. It has a lot more to it. It has comedy, a little bit of love, like I said, some romance, but also it has an intense chase scene where even the guy in your life would love it so much, because it's not just completely action with all the blowing up of things, but the intense chase scene gets me every time. I was on the edge of my seat and I really didn't know how the movie was going to end. The next film I wanted to bring up was Midnight in Paris. And the title of the film, I'm sure right away that will just get you intrigued, because Paris is one of the most romantic cities in the world, and I just wanted you guys to be able to experience what I did when I watched this film. The idea, it's a Woody Allen film, and he's such a unique character where he always puts a unique twist to his films, and he's also extremely witty, which that's good. Romance and comedy go together well. And in this film, there's this screenwriter who goes on a trip to Paris with his fiancée and her family. And in this trip, it's kind of a normal trip, and that seems like a normal idea for a movie, but halfway through the film, something really amazing happens, and it kind of adds a fantasy element to it. And I'm not going to tell you what happens, because that would actually ruin the movie for you, so I want you guys to watch it. We also have both these films in the library, so come down, check them out, and we'll be happy to help you. And if I don't see you before then, have a very happy Valentine's Day.
Hi, welcome to Kids Corner. Well, it's February already. We've been through 1 month of the new year. Couple things that are going on around the youth department. Registration is February the 19th. You can call or stop in. Our phone number is 593-1608. We have books and babies for birth to 2 years old on Tuesdays at 10:30. Wednesday is our story time for tots, and that's for 2 and 3-year-olds. And story hour is on Thursdays, and that is at 10:30 and 4:30 for each of the classes. Also, we have a little dog named Dusty that comes to our library, and he's here on Thursdays from 3:30 to 4:30, and he loves to have people read to him. So if you need practice reading, Dusty'd love for you to come in and read to him. And being it's February, that's Valentine's Day, and that's what this show's all about. So I pulled 3 different books from our collection over by the youth office. The first one is like a search and find. You look through the pictures and try to find certain hearts and different things in it, so it's kind of fun. The next one here is a craft one. If you like to do something on the weekend, you could get a book like this. I did a craft. All I needed was a marker, 2 big rubber bands, a piece of white paper, and 2 red. And I made a dancing heart puppet. You just glue it together. It says use hearts for hands and feet, but I decided to give him real hands and feet. And then our last story that I wanted to talk about is about this guy here. And everybody knows him as Arthur. Well, Arthur has a Valentine dilemma. He's getting all these love notes at Valentine's Day, and he's not sure who it is, but at the end, he does give kisses to someone. Well, that's everything that's going on around here. Have a great Valentine's Day, and we'll see you next time.
Amanda here, and boy, do I have a great young adult book for you called Beautiful Creatures. It is perfect for the Valentine's Day season because it showcases forbidden love, mystery, and fantasy. This book is written by 2 authors, Margaret Stowe and Cami Garcia, 2 great friends that were just having lunch and decided to just come up with this concept of the book, and by the time they left, they created Beautiful Creatures. This book is an awesome and new perspective because it's a perspective of a boy, a young mortal boy who falls in love with a caster witch, and towards the end of the book, they end up discovering a huge secret that will shake the town up. This book is also becoming a motion picture film released on Valentine's Day. So I challenge you to come into the library, get the book, read it, and then go see the movie, and come in and let me know what you think. I absolutely love to hear your opinions. Thank you for your time, and I wish you a happy Valentine's Day filled with lots of love.
Hi, it's Vicki with Weird and Wacky Conneaut History. Now here's a story that I recently came across that I thought was very interesting, and it's kind of related to Valentine's Day. Well, back in 1875, Ohio enacted a marriage law where you had to buy a license and go to a justice of the peace to get married. Well, Pennsylvania didn't enact such a law until 1885. So, from 1875 to 1885, local couples would solve their marriage dilemma if they wanted just a quick marriage without having to go through any paperwork or filing or what have you. They'd jump on the Atlanta Express and take the train over to North Girard, which is now known as Lake City, get married, jump on the, I think it was called the Toledo Express at 10:50, and come back to Conneaut with the deed done. So that's why North Girard was kind of known as the Gretna Green of Pennsylvania. And if you don't know what Gretna Green is about, that's a town in Scotland where you could do something similar. If you lived in England and you wanted to get married in a hurry, you could jump over the border to Gretna Green and get married without any folderol. So this is Vicki, filing away my story and wishing you a happy Valentine's Day.
Well, that wraps up another Library Line, a very special Valentine's edition of Library Line. So, happy Valentine's Day and see you next time.